Rangers, and welcome to Ranger Review YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be going over aviation in the national parks. Let's go ahead and dive right on in. The National Park Service, as I've described in many of my videos, is this giant countrywide service that covers from the tip of southern Florida all the way up to Alaska and Hawaii and everywhere in between. And believe it or not, aviation does play a role in the National Park Service and a service that it provides. Aviation provides many tools in the National Park Service, whether it is getting there. There's some national parks, very few, but there are some that you can only access by airplanes. It also helps provide search and rescue. This is especially out in the western national parks that are giant and massive, and when people go missing there, it's really hard to find them. Or if they get stuck in a particular spot and it's really just impossible to get there without using aviation. Remember that by saying aviation, we're not just including airplanes, but there's also all flying vehicles, which may include helicopters. Another huge role that aviation plays is wildfire support. You've seen the pictures of airplanes and the forest is on fire and they're going over with fire stopper. The NPS Aviation Unit is integral to wildfire fighting. Aircraft deliver water, more firefighters, and provide eyes in the sky for managing. And then also there's aviation history. That's encompassed by the national parks and the National Park Service as well. The National Park Service honors those who were incredible in their field of aviation, involved in multiple ways. You can find out more about the Tuskegee Airmen and Airwomen Awards and other awards that the National Park Service hands out in aviation. Aviation history is all over the national parks, whether it's the Wright brothers and Kitty Hawk in the first airplane in the sky, or Amelia Earhart, or everyone else in between, or World War II, or the Tuskegee Airmen. There are so many places in the national parks that go over the history of aviation. The National Park Service also has to deal with aviation training. NPS aviators must constantly be polishing their skills in various challenging situations, such as rappelling out of a hovering aircraft. That sounds intense. Aviation in the national parks can also be used for faculty support, which seems like a surprising role that you wouldn't think of at first. But aviation provides support for resource and faculty projects such as collecting water samples or transporting supplies for trail work. There's also a section of aviation law enforcement, which is again something that you wouldn't think of as being something that is needed, but it definitely is. The aviation and law enforcement units of the National Park Service work together to achieve the National Park Service's goal. And then again, aviation includes everything from airplanes to helicopters to unmanned aviation. This would mean drones. The National Park Service uses drones for a variety of reasons, and you can learn about how it decreases risk on operational missions, reduce costs, and provides additional resources that aviation in airplanes and helicopters can provide. Each day is different with the staff of the aviation unit in the National Park Service. They could be called to conduct a research mission, or assist with wildland firefighting, or support trail projects, or take part in research or rescue or law enforcement, or any number of operations. They can also educate students about jobs and wildfires and other things that involve aviation management within the National Park Service. One of the things that I mentioned the most throughout this video is wildfire fighting. It is one of the biggest roles that aviation plays, especially out in the western national parks in the region of the United States, where wildfires are very common. Helicopters and fixed-wing aircrafts are integral to wildland firefighting, whether dropping water or fire retardant on fires, firing equipment or firefighters to remote areas that they can't get to, or extricating an injured firefighter from an active fire. Nearly 1/4 of the annual operations is dedicated to wildfire fighting. And there's so many different articles and things that you can research and read about particular instances, and I'll leave all those links in the description down below. Aviation is something that is not really talked about a lot in the National Park Service outside of wildfires. There are a lot of interesting things that involve aviation, whether it's drones, search and rescue, or simply getting to a national park. Like I mentioned earlier, there will be many links that you can visit in the description down below to find out more about a specific thing that might have piqued your interest. Well, everybody, that's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up and comment down below with your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Also, be sure to click that red subscribe button and a little bell next to it to always know to post new videos. Thank you so much for watching again, and I shall see you next video. Bye!